Hello, everyone, and welcome for this second session of the day in the Viva track at the Canadian Cloud Summit. I would like to welcome Nanddeep Nachan and Smita Introduction, who are both Microsoft MVP and Microsoft certified trainers. They will introduce you on the topic of Microsoft Viva Connection, on how to set up and how to extend the Viva Connection with the SPFx, which is the SharePoint Framework. So, Nanddeep and Smita, the floor is yours. Have a good session.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Let me share my screen. I hope you should be able to see it now. Yeah, all right. Okay, so hello all. I hope you're having a great conference and welcome to Canadian Cloud Summit 2022. And we are here to present our session on Microsoft Viva Connections, on how we can get started with Viva Connections, how we will set up the Viva Connection, and at the same time, how we will be able to extend the Viva Connections with SPFx. So the quick thing about this session is like since last 20 or 24 months of the pandemic, every one of us is working in a hybrid or a remote kind of an environment, and everyone feels disconnected while working in that kind of a mode. And then again, this today's work environment requires new tools for your organizations to thrive, and the solution to Microsoft to this scenario from Microsoft is Microsoft Viva, and which is consists of at least 4 modules as of now. Even the le.io is the next module to uh, roll out recently, but we are going to deep dive into one of that module called as Microsoft Viva Connection. So that was a short introduction for this session. Before we start the session, thank you very much to all of our sponsors to make this event happen. Thank you, each of them. And again, these are the agenda for our session. So firstly, we will have an overview of Microsoft Viva, what is meant by Microsoft Viva, and then again, we will deep dive into one of the module of Microsoft Viva, which is Viva Connections. Then we will see how we can go ahead, set up Viva Connections, and then how we will be able to extend the Viva Connections with SharePoint Framework. Quick introduction. Myself, Nanddeep Nachan. I'm from Pune, India. I'm Microsoft MVP for Office Apps and Services, as well as Microsoft Certified Trainer. Author of a couple of books on SharePoint Framework, as well as SharePoint Hybrid with SharePoint 2019. And on to the right-hand side, here are a few of the social handlers to get in touch with me. And with me today is Smita.
Hello, all. Myself Smita Introduction, and I am from Pune, India. I am a Microsoft MVP for Office Development category and Microsoft Certified Trainer, having a total 13 plus years of experience in Microsoft technologies, especially with Microsoft 365, including SharePoint, Microsoft Teams, Power Platform, Forms, and Microsoft Viva. I'm author of one book, and I organize a lot of events and a frequent speaker at various events. And these are some of my social handlers by which you can just get in touch with me. So now let's see what are the hybrid working and the challenges. So many of you knows that the many organizations across all the industries have shifted to remote and hybrid work. So this change presents new opportunities and the challenges, and the organizations are finding a ways of how to make this new world of work more sustainable for their people. Also, this requires transforming additional models of work and culture. So the hybrid work is becoming a new norm across the many industries. So creating a great employee experience is more challenging than ever. People feel stressed and disconnected, and the employee wants to feel more connected. Leaders need a modern way to engage with their employees. IT needs to quickly enable the modern employee experience without replacing their existing system. And to address these issues, the company requires a new approach and a new category of technology solutions that called EXP, which is Employee Experience Platforms. So to meet that needs, Microsoft has created Microsoft Viva and EXP that empowers people and teams to do their best from virtually anywhere. So let's see what is this exactly Microsoft Viva. So Microsoft Viva brings together communications, knowledge, learning, resources, and insights into an integrated experience that empowers people and teams to do their best from anywhere. Also, it is powered by the full breadth and depth of Microsoft 365. It is experienced through Microsoft Teams and other Microsoft 365 apps that people use every day. So this Microsoft Viva include four models. First one is the Viva Connection, then the Viva Insights, Viva Learnings, and Viva Topics. So let's see one all of them one by one. So the first one is the Viva Connection. So it provides a curated, personalized, and a company branded experience that centralizes relevant news and the conversations. So the Viva Connection provides a single entry point for the employee engagement and internal communications, and this can be referred as a gateway to your digital workspace. So the Viva Connections is built on Microsoft 365 capabilities like a SharePoint to provide a curated and a branded employee destination. And the leaders can connect with the employees via company town halls, and employee can access everything from company news, policies and benefits to employee resource groups or the communities they want to join with the Microsoft Viva's integration to Yammer. Let's see about this, something about this Viva Insights. So Viva Insights gives individuals, managers, and leaders personalized and actionable, privacy protected insight that help everyone in an organization thrive. It brings a new personal well-being experiences, insights, and recommended actions from workspace analytics and my analytics into the flow of people's work in Microsoft Teams. Then the Viva Learning helps make learning a natural part of of every employee's daily work and a company's culture. So with Viva Learning, employees can easily discover and share everything from training courses to micro learning content. And the last one, the fourth is Viva Topics. So the Viva Topics enables you to harness the knowledge of your organization and connect people to that knowledge. So the Viva topic is like a Wikipedia and AI superpowers for your organization. So when employees click on a card, a topic page appears with the documents, videos, and related people. So the Viva topics also surfaces information from third-party services like a ServiceNow and Salesforce. Now let's see how to set up and launch the Viva connection. So Microsoft Viva Connection is a desktop and mobile experience that brings together relevant news, conversations, and resources in one place for your organization. It's built on your current Microsoft 365 ecosystem and powered by SharePoint to help you to engage, inform, and empower your hybrid workforce. So the Viva Connection experience is deployed and accessed in a Microsoft Teams. So you have to use some step-by-step instructions to help you to set up and launch the Viva connection on desktop and mobile devices using currently available features to create an engaging user experience.
So if you see onto the screen, we have almost a 8-step process which we should follow in order to make our Viva connections working. And then again, through this session, we are going to go through each of those steps. So again, all those steps are not technical. Again, there are few of the steps which are entirely business oriented. Few of the steps requires technical as well as the business aspect in overall. So firstly, that we should need intranet. So mostly it is created in a SharePoint. Then we should set up the home site for that intranet. We should enable the app bar, create a dashboard. We should prepare the content or the feed for our content, which we want to prioritize for our employees. And then it will come to the Teams part. So we just need to start by adding the apps in Microsoft Teams. Then we can define the experience for desktop as well as for our mobile users. And then lastly, we will let everyone know that we have Viva connections and we will roll out Viva connections to the entire business. So this is the 8-step process that we are going to follow to set up the Viva connections. All right, so let's get into the first step, which is preparing your internet. So for example, if you are using Microsoft 365 and SharePoint for a longer time, you must have your internet set up in SharePoint. But for example, if you don't have, then this is the time to get started and plan for your internet. And at the same time, for example, if you have your SharePoint site, maybe a classic one, then this is the time to get modernized and start going towards the modern SharePoint. So overall, this process has been categorized into 3 steps of plan. So first one is to prepare, Like just prepare your home site, prepare the global navigation, and then ensure that all of the best practices are followed. All of the SharePoint infrastructure, information architecture is in place, and then you are going to have a good SharePoint environment that you are going to follow as your home site. Then, as I said, if you don't have your classic or if you don't have your modern SharePoint setup, then this is the time to get yourself modernized and then transform your entire classic SharePoint into the modern SharePoint. So again, you can prepare your internet by ensuring the internet content as well as the flow of the information is in order. Because a well-planned, well-executed internet hub or sites are important elements to ensure that you get the best out of Viva Connections. And again, when you set up Viva Connections, global navigation in the SharePoint App Bar and the navigation on the SharePoint home site will obviously impact the overall Viva Connection experience. So while you are working to prepare your internet, align with all of your stakeholders to define the top scenarios which can be supported through Viva Connections. So mostly focus on to the task and scenarios that can be easily completed onto a mobile device, as well as organize the Viva Connections dashboard around those kind of key scenarios. And then after you launch the first iteration of Viva Connections, you can always add new or more scenarios as well as the content that you want to target for your users. The last point to consider here is the multilingual kind of an experience. So for example, if your organization has got across multiple geographical locations, so in that case what you can do is you can start preparing your internet or a home site in English to start with, and then enable the other languages on top of that, so that everyone will at least get the content which is common, but everyone will be able to see the content in their own language, and at least that will give more kind of an attention to the internet as well as to the Viva connections. So these are the things that we should consider, that prepare your home site as well as the global navigation design, modernize your sites as well as pages, because classic SharePoint doesn't work with Viva connections. And then again, consider whether you will need to have a multilingual kind of an experience enabled. So the permissions that will be required here are very much simple. Your SharePoint administrator can help you to create the home site as well as, if needed, hub sites. And then again, the site owner of the home site can enable the global navigation, as well as the site owner as well as the site member permissions will be required to customize your any kind of a site level navigation. So with that, let's get into the step two, like how you can set up your home site in the intranet. So whenever you are setting up the home site, there are few points to consider. So let us see what are those.
A home site is a SharePoint communication site that acts as a front door to your organization intranet and has the special capabilities such as the ability to prioritize the news posted from the home site across the rest of the intranet. So when you deploy the Viva connections, your SharePoint home site becomes the intranet landing experience inside of Microsoft Teams. So you have to consider using this landing template in a SharePoint lookbook to get a head start. And some of the important things in the SharePoint home site is required to set up a Viva connection, and home sites are generally high traffic sites, so that should be optimized for the performance. While getting started, if your organization does not already have a home site, plan for a home site, then set the home site in a SharePoint admin center. Make sure that you share the home site with everyone in your organization. And when it's come to the permission, so the SharePoint administrator or the hire can create a home site.
So with that, let's get into the demo and see how we can prepare our internet quickly. All right. So I'm just moving to one of my environments. So at least I have two environments ready, just in case my demo doesn't work in this environment. I can quickly switch to the other environment. So this is the lookbook that we have been talking about. So if you in the browser, if you go to the lookbook.microsoft.com, so you will be landed to this page, which gives you various templates available through which you will be able to create your SharePoint site. So in a situation where you are not very much sure, like from where to start, what kind of an content to surface, where to locate, or where to place that kind of an content, probably SharePoint Lookbook is the best place to start with. So in that case, what you can do is you can just navigate to what kind of an experience you are looking out for. So let's say, for example, an organization kind of an field, department, team, community, or any other kind of solutions. So in this case, just choose whichever you think is the better experience for your users, through which you will be able to give them the personalized experience of the news as well as the personalized content. So either you can start with any of the template, but again, if you don't if you are not very much sure which one to start with, probably start with the landing experience. So it is a simple process. Just choose the template that you want, click on that template, and it will navigate to the details of that template. So from here you will be able to see what are the site features, web parts, content which is being included in this template. Simply click on this button called as add to your tenant. This will take you to the next screen where you can just define the title and the URL for that particular site, and then it will be a provision into your tenant. So you can just specify these details, click on provision, and the site will be provisioned inside of your tenant. So other way is, for example, if you don't want to follow that path, if you want to keep it very simple, so you can anytime come to the SharePoint Admin Center, click on create, choose communication side. Probably team side is not the best option here to go ahead. So choose a communication site and then choose any of the template that you want to go ahead with. So whenever you will create a site of communication type, or maybe from the lookbook, so this is the kind of an experience that you will get. So this is the site that we have set up for this demo with the lookbook template, which is based on the landing experience, which you can see here. Okay, so this is the experience that we will get. We will get all of the web parts or the ready web parts, ready content that we can go ahead and start with. So now that this one is just a site that we have here, now that we want to set this particular site as a home site. So in that case, what we can do is we can get back into the SharePoint Admin Center, click settings, and here we have one option to promote any of the site inside of our environment as a home site. If in case you already have it set, you will be able to see it. Otherwise, you can just specify the URL here. It will just do a quick validation, and it can prompt you that whether you can set this site as a home site or not. Once you do that, click on save, and it will take some time, and this particular site will be available to you as a home site. So just to quickly, like, what are the newer capabilities that we will get once we set that particular site as a home site. So now that, for example, if I get into the settings, so this is a simple menu that we get, but once our site will be published as a home site or percolated as a home site, in that case, we will be able to see couple of two menu items being added here, right? So it will take some time. Probably it won't be that fast. Generally, it takes 5 to 7 minutes to get those changes reflected. Meanwhile, what we can do is we will cover the other part, but at the same time, for example, if you want to make use of the hub site, even you can do that. So hub sites are kind of an connected site through which you will be able to connect multiple sites together, because right now Microsoft is uh, pushing for the um, kind of an hierarchy wherein each of the site should be a site collection. So that is called as a flat hierarchy structure. So with that flat hierarchy, we should not have a subsite, but rather each of the sites should be a site collection. And in that case, to connect all those sites together, we can have a hub site. So the hub site advantages is like it can bind multiple sites together. It can have a common navigation, common theme, and it can bring up the content from multiple sites which are connected to the hub site at one place. So even you can make your home site as a hub site. So to do that, simply just select your site, whichever is that, and click onto the hub, and then select this to be registered as a hub site. So once you register this site as a hub site, you will be able to associate any of the other site to this hub site. So probably we will not get into those complications. Let me just quickly refresh the page and let us see, do we have those experience enabled yet? Otherwise, we'll move through the other theory part and come back to this later. Okay, it is still refreshing. Okay, so once the page loads, let me get back again to the settings menu and we still don't have. So what we will do is we will still give some time for SharePoint to promote our site to be a home site, and until the time we will cover the theory part. All right, so now that we will see how we can have the SharePoint app bar and global navigation created, and then how we'll be able to promote that.
So the SharePoint app bar allows users to find the important content and the resources and dynamically displays the personalized sites, news, and the files. And the Viva connection uses the elements from the SharePoint app bar and the global navigation for the desktop and the mobile experiences. So the SharePoint app bar elements will display in a Microsoft Teams and includes global navigation, followed sites, and recommended news. On a mobile devices, Viva Connection uses a global navigation for the resources tab. Again, the important thing you have to remember that if your app bar is not set up, you won't see a navigation panel in the desktop experience and the global navigation resources in the resource tab of the Viva Connection app will not display. A home site is required before you can enable and customize the SharePoint app bar. When it's come to the permissions, so the site owner or the higher permissions to the home site are required to enable and customize the global navigation in a SharePoint app bar.
All right, so with that, let's get into another demo and see how we'll be able to enable the global navigation and the SharePoint app bar. So for that, let me again get back to the site. Hopefully by this time, we should be able to see those two menus which we were referring to. So the first menu item that we will be able to see here is something called as a global navigation. The other one is setup Viva connection. So we'll come back to this bit later, but let's focus on global navigation. So once we click onto the global navigation, from here we'll be able to turn on or off our global navigation. It is advisable to turn on this global navigation because it can appear here for the global navigation, and then for the mobile users they will be able to see this entire global navigation under the resources tab. So until and unless you set the global navigation, this home icon will point to the SharePoint start page. At the moment when you will turn on this global navigation, all of your global navigation will be seen here. So here are few of the settings that we can do for the global navigation. If you have a customized logo that you want to show here, we can add that. So probably just click on upload that particular logo. So I will just go ahead and upload this logo, and then you can, if needed, change the title for this. So probably I will just call it as a home site. And then here, these are the two things that we will get as a navigational source. So for example, if you have your site being promoted as a hub site, in that case, you will be able to take advantage of the hub or the global navigation. Otherwise, you can also go ahead with the home site navigation. So again, with that, we have option to edit the global navigation. So we can just click on here. So here will be presented with the global navigation menus which are available by default. At the same time, we can click on this plus button, and then from here we'll be able to add two things. So first one is we can probably add a link, or maybe we can add a label. So label is just the label which is a non-clickable, which will be available as a maybe kind of a section kind of a thing. And then if you have a link, it will be a clickable link. At the same time, for example, if you turn on this audience targeting and then again click on this, so you will see that we have an option to turn on the audiences. So that means this particular link will be only available to those audiences. And then again, what kind of things we can add here is either we can add Microsoft 365 group, we can add Dynamics groups as well. Even we can add the email enabled security groups. But again, just one thing to note here is that we can only specify up to 10 audiences per link. One more time, or one more thing to note here is that, for example, if you have the multilingual kind of an experience enabled, in that case, you will be able to specify the translations option for these links. So if you have the multilingual option set onto your environment, here you'll be able to see translations button just below this display name, and then from here you can turn on the multilingual kind of an experience for each of these menu items. So once you are happy with that, by defining your global navigation, just click on save, And now that this one will become your global navigation. So again, it might take some time to make the changes, but now that at least it is very instantaneous. So once you click on this global navigation, you can see that the global navigation will come through, and then this is the experience that your users will get. For example, if they are using the mobile experience, they will be able to see all of these links under the resources tab. So these are the kind of an easy steps by which we'll be able to create the global navigation. And then this everything that you see onto the left is called as an app bar. So this app bar includes at least four things as of now. So we have a global navigation, which is the only customizable thing in this app bar. Then we have a my sites, then we have a my news, my files. So all of these things will be calculated based on Microsoft Graph, like which kind of an sites you follow, which kind of an content you follow, where you add your content. So based on that, you will be able to see the content. Again, there was one more option here for Microsoft list or my list here. At least I was able to see it until last week, but looks like it has again went away. But maybe look out for that option when it will be here, which will be my list. So those my list will also show you all of the lists that you are following or lists that you have created or accessed recently. So just one thing to note here is this app bar is very much essential whenever you are creating the Microsoft Viva Connection kind of an experience. And the only thing that can be configured in this app bar is the global navigation. Other things we won't be able to we won't be able to change because this one will be not the curated kind of an experience. So only global navigation is the curated experience which can be defined by your site owner. All right, so with that, let's get into the next topic and then how we can create the dashboard. All right. So the dashboard is something that brings everything together and it provides the personalized landing experience, and it is designed to be the central destination where everyone can discover your organization's resources, as well as even from there they will be able to complete their daily task. Again, we can apply the audience targeting to the dashboard cards, and then it gives your users the experience, kind of a tailored experience for their role and interest. And once you set up the dashboard, you will be able to use the dashboard web part onto the home site. So let us get into another demo. But yeah, before that, this is how the dashboard will look like.
So the Viva Connection dashboard enables you to create a curated experience using a dashboard cards that give your employees access to their most critical content and the tools. So these cards are designed to enable a quick task completion either by interacting with the card directly or by opening a quick view in the dashboard. So think of the Viva Connection dashboard as a digital tool sets for your employees. The Viva Connection dashboard is available on mobile platforms for the iOS and Android for the both in the Viva Connection Teams app and on a desktop as a web part. So this web part can be integrated into a SharePoint home site, which then is exposed as a part of the Viva Connection for a desktop experience in a Microsoft Teams. Let's say what is this dashboard authoring. So a dashboard is autorated in a SharePoint home site on a dashboard page. A site editor can create a dashboard, add a cards in the size and layout of the choice, and target the cards to a specific audiences.
All right, so with that theory, now let's get into the demo and see how we'll be able to create a dashboard and add the cards for our employees. So let me again go back to my SharePoint site. So this is the home site that we have set up so far. Again, we will click onto the settings menu, and now that we will move to the second option which got enabled when we turn this site into a home site, which is set up Viva Connections. So once you click on set up Viva Connections, if you have not set it up before, here you will get an option to create a dashboard. And once you set this up, this option will turn into view dashboard. So what can happen once we click on this dashboard is that it will simply create a dashboard, but just look into the URLs that gets created. So simply it's create one page called as a dashboard.aspx inside site pages. And then this is the authoring kind of an experience wherein we will be able to add cards for the engaging experience for our employees. So this one give you both the options to see how this one looks like inside mobile, as well as how it will look like in a desktop. So let us switch to desktop, and then from here we'll be able to add certain cards here. So here from here we'll be able to add few cards like approval, assign task, card designer, shift, teams app, and web links. Out of which these three cards, which is approval, shift, and teams app, those are very much concentrated for teams kind of an experience. So let's say, for example, if you go ahead at the teams app here, click on the edit card. So this is the edit panel that we will get to see, from where we will be able to configure this particular card for our users. And from here, we can select the size for that card. So based on what kind of an experience you want to give to your employees, either you can select the medium or large size. So this one will be more of use whenever you will design that particular experience for a mobile users. For desktop, probably this will not be of that important. From here, we'll be able to select any of the apps. So let's say we will simply go ahead and add the Q&A kind of an app here, and then we will just close out this window. And one more thing is that again, we'll be able to do the audience targeting to the cards as well. So at least we can specify 50 audiences limit for each of the card. So once we close this out, this is how the experience for the card will be. So again, from here, for example, if you want to add other cards, you can still go ahead, and then we have these cards, which is for shift, which is for approvals, which will open up the approval uh, Microsoft Teams app. So these are kind of an apps that we have. Let's say, for example, if you just want to see the tasks which are assigned to you, we can just add this assigned task or card for task, and then we don't have any of the much configuration option here, just the card size and the audiences. The other type of card that we can add here is the card designer, which is considered as a low code kind of an card designer. So which will give you some kind of an more options, like what kind of a layout you want, header, image, or a description kind of a thing. The major thing here, which is different than the other cards, and why we call it as a low code card, is like because from here we can select to show a quick view. So all of these things that we see here are the cards, but then again we do have something called as a quick view, and then we'll be able to create that quick view by authoring the JSON kind of an experience. So we will be able to define our JSON here, which is a template JSON, which will define how the template or the quick view should look like. And then we have a data JSON, which will just supply the information to this template JSON. So once we create our JSON, because to create a JSON, at least you will need some kind of an programming experience. And that's the reason this one is called as a maybe low code kind of an experience. So probably what we'll do is we'll just close out that card. I guess I had selected quick view here. Let me just verify, show the quick view. So how this will behave is once we get into the preview, this will, once we click on to this card, this will just open up another card, which is called as a quick view. And then we'll be able to define our own JSONs here. The other type of card that we'll be able to add something like a web link, which will be just a link to any of your page in a SharePoint. So once you are done with your experience, just click on preview, see how this one looks like. And for example, if you have turned on audience targeting, from here you'll be able to see the experience for each of the audit or audience kind of an experience. Once you are happy with all of the configurations that you have done so far, click on publish. So now that we only have created our dashboard, so it is not just the end of it. We should again go back to our home page and probably try to place the web part here, which will show all of those dashboard. So now that I'm onto the home page of my home site, we will just click on edit here, click plus here to get the web part added. And here we can just simply search for a web part called as a dashboard for Viva Connections. So simply it will pick up all of the cards that we have added onto our dashboards, and we'll be able to see it here. So this will give us your desktop users experience, from where we'll be able to curate the personal kind of an content to them, so that from here they will be able to see their personal tasks which are assigned to them. At the same time, probably any of the card which we have designed specifically for them. So this is the type of experience that we will be able to define with the dashboard. All right, so with that, let's get into the step number 5, because now that we are talking too much about the content, but from where we'll be able to get that engaging content. So let's get into that.
So let's see how the getting the content ready for your feed with SharePoint News and the Yammer. So in the Viva Connection app, users will see a feed that is personalized with the relevant content personalized to them, and the feed automatically balances the fresh and engaging content with the corporate communication to keep the user engaged. So some of the tips over here in a Yammer, target the conversation you want to display in a feed by using a Yammer boost and features options on the Yammer community pages. Use the news boost to elevate SharePoint news and announcement. Use the video links in a SharePoint to create engaging viewing experience. Also use the feed web part to display the personalized news. When it's come to the permission, you require to create permission for the Yammer community. That's vary from the organization from the SharePoint news. So you will need administrator permissions, or for the edit you need edit permissions or higher permissions.
So now that we have everything ready at our SharePoint end, now that let's move into the Microsoft Teams and see how we'll be able to add the entire experience as an Viva Connections app. So this one is a three-step process, and we will follow that as we go with that. So firstly, that we just need to enable the Viva Connections app in the Teams admin center. So again, I will go back to my Office 65 tenant, and I guess this is where I have my Teams admin center open. So what we can do is we can simply go to the Teams app, click Manage Apps, and from here we'll be able to see all of the apps which are available in our tenant. So simply here we will search by Viva, and here we will be able to see the Viva connections. So by default, this app will be blocked. So just click here to turn this one on. And then again, this is how we'll be able to just turn on this Viva Connection app inside of our organization. The second part to this is if needed, we can customize the app. So we can specify something like you can just click on this pencil icon, and from here we'll be able to specify the entire things what we want for our Viva Connection experience. So from here you can either upload any of your logo, specify the accent colors and all those things. So we will keep it simple. We'll go ahead with the default settings that we have. The next thing here is that we need to make that app available to our end users. So what we can do in this case is we can go to the setup policies, and then you can define what kind of an rings that you want to roll out for this app. But I will directly go into the global policy, which is for all the users. Then it is ideal to maybe install that app, but we will quickly go to the pinned app, click on to the add app, and here I will just simply search for Viva Connections. We will get it added there. Once you click on add, that Viva Connections app is available here, but probably if you want to just move it to the up to the top level and you want to enable that as an app which is available at the top of your left rail, you can do that. So I will just click on save, and then let me just open Teams experience here. So we should be able to see that particular app here. But again, this takes some time. It won't be that spontaneous. So what we will do is I will quickly maybe try to add that app manually. So let it load. But yeah, we do have it here right now. Oh, no, we don't have it. All right. So what I will do is I will just click on this. It will take generally 5 to 10 minutes, but just considering the time that we have in our hand, I will go ahead and okay. I'm not able to find it. Let me just refresh the page one more time. But here, at least you should be able to see that app, and then you can just turn it on and you will be able to see it. So now that at least you see that it one is coming and going all the way. But let me just quickly go to the apps, find the Viva Connections app. All right. Okay, looks like it is still taking some time, but what I can do meanwhile is that I have my second tenant available, which is a kind of a dummy tenant, which I already have set up. So once you have set up your entire Viva Connections, so this is how it will look like to you. So the Viva Connections app will be at the top, and this is the experience that you will get. So this is the dashboard that we just had configured, as well as these are the Viva Connections feed that we see. So this is how we'll be able to create the experience for our users in Viva, and this is the app that is surfacing your SharePoint home site as a experience inside Microsoft Teams. So with that, let's get into the other topics like how we can choose the mobile settings. So when it comes to choosing the mobile settings, it is very much simple that we just need to enable or customize the app based on the what kind of a mobile experience that we want to enable for our users. And for the mobile users, they will get these three experiences of dashboard, feed, and resources. So resources, that means all of the global navigation they will be able to see. Feed, that means all of the content which is coming from Yammer, SharePoint, Stream, they will be able to see it here. And dashboard, that means the dashboard web part that we just have added, all of the cards that we have on the dashboard, they will be able to see it from here. The last part here is this, we just need to launch this with our end users. So we just need to make aware that to all of the end users that new thing come in their way, which is Viva Connection, maybe use some kind of a reference material or the adoption kind of a materials available from Microsoft to let your end users know, understand this kind of a desktop experience as well as the mobile experience. So now that I will utilize last 5 minutes to talk about how we'll be able
Nanddeep,
to.
there seemed to be a problem with your sound. We don't hear you anymore.
Oh, is it fine now? Can you hear me okay now? Or let me
It's
just. Oh,
still no, we still don't hear
still no.
you.
Can you hear me? Smita here.
Oh,
Hello.
can you hear me? Okay. Okay, at least thank you, TJ, for the confirmation. At least you can hear both. So probably I will continue if in case you cannot. Please let us know. But okay, at least for others. Okay, so what I will do is I will just utilize last 5 minutes to talk about how we'll be able to build the rich experiences for Viva connections with SPFx. So SPFx again don't need any kind of an introduction, but with the SPFx version 1.13, we can build the adaptive card extension. Even we call it as a S kind of an experience, ACE, through which we'll be able to build the experience for Viva connections. So we'll be able to build out the cards which can be hosted as a card inside dashboard. So whenever we create that, we at least get three templates to work with: a basic card, image card, and a primary text card. So the experience is very much simple that whenever we will run this yo at Microsoft/SharePoint, it will scaffold a SharePoint project. And then the only thing which will be changed here is that for which type of client side component you want to create, select the option called as adaptive card extension or S, and then select what kind of a template you want to go ahead with. Specify the name and description, and then that's it. The solution will be ready for you. So let us go quickly into the, the solution that was generated and try to see. So this one is a package JSON. This web part was created with 1.13 beta version. Then here we have the major code or code file available, which is this adaptive card extension.ts. So here we can optionally implement two kind of generics. So first one is this T properties, and then we do have a T state here. Which you can see it here. And then again, all of the cards that we are going to use, we just need to register those cards, whether it could be a view card or it could be a quick card. We just need to get them registered so that we can be able to use that. And then we can register them inside the on init kind of a method. And then from here, we can just simply provide the title and the icon for our card. Then next thing that we have something called as a card view, which is a S class, ACE class. And then again, it one has got those two properties again, which is a T properties and T state, which is your state. So this card has got something called as a render method or a render card kind of a methods. So through that render card kind of a method, it returns the string identifier to the registered view, and then this method will be invoked during the initial render of the card. And then lastly that we have this quick view. So with this quick view, we'll be able to give the quick view kind of an experience which we just saw onto the low code kind of an card. And then again to this quick view, probably we can add the inline kind of an JSON, or we can also define that JSON into a separate JSON file and refer. So let us see how this kind of an experience looks like. So for that, I will again switch back to my tenant. And for example, if I go and click on see all this kind of an experience, here at least I have added couple of custom cards. So this is a simple card which is created with the SPFx. So once you click on view all, it will just show you the items from there. The other card, which is a customized card, which shows all of the information about the Microsoft 365 groups. So once you click on view my groups, it will show you the groups where you are a owner and you are a member. Again, for example, if you want to go into the details of those groups, you can just click on view, and here it will show a listing of all of those groups that we have. And this one is nothing but a quick view. It will show all of the listing of the groups. And then, for example, if you click on this icon, SharePoint icon, it will open up the associated SharePoint site with that group. And for example, if that group is connected to my sorry, Microsoft Teams, it will show that team as well. So this is a kind of an experience that we will get. And for example, if you're interested to know like how we have developed this code is available under the PNP repository. So this is the URL which I will share onto the chat window. So from here you will be able to get the entire information what this web part or this edge kind of an experience delivers, and then how we were able to develop all this kind of a thing. So just considering the time, that was all we wanted to cover, like how we can set up our Viva connections as well as how we can extend our Viva connections with something called as SharePoint Framework. So again, for example, if you are more interested to implement the Viva connections as well as extend them for your use, here are a few of the references available from Microsoft. At the same time, for example, if you want to quickly see how uh, I as a personal have created those Viva condition experience, here are links to a couple of my blogs from where you'll be able to see how to quickly enable the Viva connections for your desktop, Microsoft Teams desktop, as well as how you'll be able to build those adaptive card extension as an custom extension to SharePoint Framework. And with that, thank you very much for having us. Thank you very much for opportunity to present. Once again, thank you very much to all of our sponsors. And then again, do submit your feedback for a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card. So you can either type this link in the browser or hit this QR code to stand a chance to win the Amazon gift card. With that, thank you very much, and back to you, Serge.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for the
much.
opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much. Great session. Just one thing for everyone that's going to fill out the form. I'm going to post the link from the form in the chat if you need it. And for the session, you need to enter a code. So, because in order to win the prizes, you need to be there. So the codes are not published anywhere but during the session. So the code that you will need to use for this session is 290313. 290313. So when you're going to fill out the form, it's going to ask you for a session code. So make sure that you use the right session code to fill out for the session, and then you'll need to put in the name to pick the name of the session, and from there you will get a chance to win a $50 prize. So thank you very much again for your time. If you have any question, we can take a couple of minutes for a question. I'm just going to stop the recording.